Just a veteran again. Thanks for tuning in. So today I was just talking about the illusion of life and about the military, and when you serve, how you have one perception of what it's all about. And then when you leave, many people's perception changes. I mean, when you're in and you're being tasked to go on operations to support other nations, and it could be Bosnia, it could be Iraq, Kuwait, it could be Kosovo, Albania, it could be Afghanistan, Rwanda, Uganda, On the whole, everyone gets really excited about going to these sort of places. And we're all for it, usually. We're all supportive of it, usually. And we're all right behind the mission and the objectives, usually. The vast majority of us are, anyway. And then, when you get out, certainly for myself, you become more disillusioned. You start to realise very quickly, having come out of the institutionalisation that you were in, that institution. Sorry, I was only RMP. My English weren't good, But you suddenly get to realise quickly that, was it all worth it? You start to question, should I say, was it all worth it? Was it our business? Were we doing the right thing? Or was this just a game? Like someone's alluded to on my comments. A game for the elites to benefit. You see, things are happening all over the world all the time, and we can barely look after our own nation, our own homeless, our own veterans. And yet we're gallivanting over the globe, spending tens of millions on other nations and other people before actually sorting out our own. And you realise very quickly that the United Kingdom doesn't have enduring friends in the world. It has enduring interests. They will go where their interest lays. And it's quite sad, really. Because whilst all this puppetry and arsery is going on at the elite level, it's the people on the ground that suffer. The boys and girls who go on these operational tours with all the best intentions literally put their life on the line for these causes. Literally stand in the way of fire, ammunition, hail of rounds, mortars, explosions, for the elites to support what they have sent them out there to do. And ladies and gents, I learnt really, really quickly, I'm a lot of scepticism now on actually even my past. I loved the job I'd done. I was proud to be in the British Army, but I do look back, and some of the places I went, I wonder, really, was that our job? Why were we getting involved? Why do we go in and stir a hornet's nest? How much propaganda was actually spun on these places for us to go there and make the world believe we were doing the right thing, when actually what we were looking for was never found. Yes, weapons of mass destruction is one of them. The country's now worse off than it ever was under the regime of Madass, which is Saddam backwards, by the way. So was it all worth it? Arguably, people say the same about Libya and Colonel Gaddafi, where apparently in Colonel Gaddafi's regime, education was free, housing was free. There were a lot of benefits to live under the regime of Gaddafi, apparently. Yet guess what? We went in there and we tried to cut the head off the serpent, as they put it. Is it a better country now? I point to Afghanistan, which is probably the biggest contribution we've made in recent years, and the biggest loss we've had over recent decades. And I ask you, was it all worth it? All the boys and girls, men and women, children, husbands and wives, sons and daughters that were slain out in Afghanistan, doing what the politicians said was the right thing to do. Is the country a better place now? For those who have served there, I don't mean yes it is because you feel it must be. But is it a better place now? Has anything been achieved that's made a real difference? Or like the Russians before with the Afghans, has it just gone back to how it was? And actually, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Were the people under the Taliban regime really that bad off in comparison to their own lives and what they know? Or was it just us trying to push democracy and this so-called freedom narrative across their country, and by doing so taking control of their assets? You see, we promote democracy, yet we don't really demonstrate it as a nation. We can see that by the last two prime ministers who weren't elected. So, I just wanted to say a few words this morning about that very fact, how I was disillusioned in the military. I was part of the institute. I loved what I'd done. I loved the people I worked with. I'd have done anything for them. But in reality, were we doing the right thing? In reality, did it make a difference? Or will it just be this perpetual spiral that goes on in life where politicians will send soldiers, servicemen, airmen and navy across the globe doing their bit for the elite to achieve their aim? A bit more of a serious view this morning, but it just came to me, so I hope you don't mind me sharing it. Feel free, as always, to discuss and debate even in the comments. Thank you for watching. I've been just a veteran.